Alright, this topic is ordering real numbers. Real numbers just mean they can be integers, they can be fractions that you need to divide out and get decimals, they can be like square roots, and they're just trying to get a sense of whether you can put them in order from least to greatest. And maybe we'll just jump right in and kind of see how it goes, and I'll bring up some words of advice as we go. Let's say we have negative 4.4. We have negative square root of 17. We have 4.29. Notice that's positive. That's the first positive thing we've seen. And then we have this fraction with a negative sign out in front of it. Now you're allowed to use the calculator on this ALEKS topic. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this guy here and we're going to type it into our calculator. There should be a square root button on your calculator, and that is your best bet, is just to type that in. And I would say to carry it to the nearest hundredth, which is 2 decimal places. So I'm going to jot underneath it what you should get on a calculator. Negative 4.12. Alright, and then we want to deal with this guy. A fraction is the same thing as a division problem. So again, we can use a calculator. I'm going to type in negative 47. And what this negative sign is it's kind of being wimpy. So my rule of thumb is to always put it with the top number. So what I'm doing on the calculator is I'm doing negative 47 divided by 11. And when I type that in, I am going to carry it 2 decimal places. That comes out to be negative 4.27. And actually that's repeating, but I don't think I need that information. Alright, because we have negative numbers, we need to remember that on the number line, if we have 0 here, and we have 1 here, and we have negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, it's a little bit counterintuitive. If I'm looking for negative 0.5, that's going to be here, so that's negative 0.5. If I'm looking for negative 0.25, that's going to be even closer to 0. So you got to kind of remember that even though they seem to be smaller, they are a bigger value. They're closer to 0, they're bigger to the positive numbers. So what we want to do is kind of keep that in mind when we're thinking about our numbers. So if we're going from least to greatest, I think that we're ready to write down these in order. So we kind of want what actually appears to be the biggest negative number. We have negative 4.4, negative 4.12. That's positive, so we'll leave that in negative 4.27. So our biggest negative number is the lowest number we have. So that's going to be negative 4.4. Alright, because that's our smallest number, we're going to say that it's a less than. So we're done with this guy. That leaves us a couple other negatives. We have negative 412 and negative 427. So that's going to leave us negative 427 is our next lowest, even though it looks like it's the biggest. So we're done with that guy. Our only other negative number is negative 4.12. And then finally, the only other thing we have is a positive 4.29. Alright, so that's it from least to greatest. Let's try another one of these. Open a new slide. Let's try 71 over 11. Negative 6 2/3. We'll do the square root of 36 and 6.4 repeating. So again, before we can start plopping things in, we do want to get some things from the calculator, and we also want to note that we have 2 things that are positive. So this guy's positive and this guy's positive. They're going to be to the right when we're writing out these, and our smaller numbers are going to be these guys, which are, oh, is that negative? Sorry, it was supposed to be negative. Okay, so let's take the 71 over 11 and divide that out. So what you want to type in is 71 divided by 11, and that is going to give us 6.45. Okay, then we're going to type in square root of 36, and that gives us a plain old 6. This guy here is negative 6.444. Since it's repeating, that's how it's being considered. And now this guy here, if you're, what you need to do is convert. If you're not sure what 2/3 is, the best thing to do is to convert that to a mixed number. It is a mixed number, sorry, we want to convert it to an improper. So to do that, we do negative 6 times 3, which is negative 18, and then we add the 2. So 18 plus 2 is 20, and then we're going to keep that over 3, and we need to make that a negative. Alright, so what we need to do is divide that out. So negative 20 divided by 3 gives us negative 6.6 repeating. Okay, so my negatives, I'm ready to go from least to greatest. And my negatives are going to have to come first on the left-hand side. So which is bigger? No, sorry, which is smaller? Negative 6.44 or negative 6.66? The lowest negative is conversely, or it feels weird, it's going to actually be the biggest negative number. So that's going to be our lowest. So we've done this guy. We only have one other negative, and that definitely has to come before the positive numbers. So we list that next. Then we need to look at our positives. Is 6 smaller than 6.45? Yeah, if I have $6, it's definitely smaller than $6.45. So 6 is going to go next. And then my 71 over 11 is going to be my final one. Probably to be correct, what I should have written there is negative 6 2/3, just to kind of keep it in the mode that the problem was given to me, and I probably should have put that one as square root of 36. So we'll pay more attention to that with my let's see, let's do this guy here. We have negative 7.6 repeating. We have the square root of 50. We have the negative 7.64 and negative 157 over 20. And if you're starting to feel a little confident or you want to give it a whirl, what I would suggest is writing down these four numbers on your paper, hitting the pause button, and actually trying it out on your own, and then coming back and hitting play and see if you got it right. Alright. Alright. How do we get the answer? So this guy's already written for us. This guy, we need the square root of 50 we need to do on the calculator, and that is 7.07. So that's the only positive one we have, so we already know that that's going to be way over here because that's our biggest number, so we can even almost cross that out. Actually, you know what, I'm going to pay attention to that and put that down as the square root of 50. Make that change right now. Okay, negative 7.64 is already done for us, and now we need to do the division of negative 157 divided by 20. We're going to type that in the calculator, and that is negative 7.85. Alright, if this guy here is repeating, remember that we can rewrite it like this. So now we want to look at our negative numbers, and whichever one it looks the biggest is actually the smallest. 7.66, 7.64, 7.85. This looks the biggest, so it is the smallest. So when I go to write it in my list, I am going to put it the way that they have it in the problem. So this guy's done. Now which is the biggest looking? Negative 7.64 or negative 7.66? This guy seems to be bigger, but in fact it is smaller than the other one. So we are going to write that one. And then the final one that we haven't touched yet is negative 7.64, and you should be all set. I will do one more example, but if you're feeling comfortable and you want to just go do ALEKS on your own, go for it. Otherwise, stay tuned. Alright, our last one here, 3.85, negative 0.6 repeating, negative 34 divided by 50, and square root of 14. Alright, 3.85 we don't need to touch, it looks good. Negative 0.6 repeating, if we want to, we can rewrite it like that. Negative 34 divided by 50, I'm going to divide out, which you should also do. And again, you might have hit pause on this and tried it on your own, I hope. Negative 0.68, and then the last one, the square root of 14. Type that into your calculator, and it's 3.74. We have two positive numbers and two negatives, so let's look at the negatives. Out of these, the bigger one is actually the lowest one, so we need to write that first as from least to greatest. Alright, negative 0.66 and negative 0.68. This guy feels like the bigger one, but it's actually the bigger negative, so it's smaller. Oh, what did I say? I wanted to write it in the problem, the way the problem had it. So that is negative 34 over 50. That's our smallest. Our next smallest is our other negative, negative 0.6 repeating. So now we have 3.85 and 3.74. Think of it like money. $3.74 is a little bit less than $3.85. And I promptly forgot to write it in the correct format. So that would be square root of 14. Alright, cool. Hope this helped. Bye.